Where there's a cloud don't mean there's rain.
Welcome. Good evening. I'm BakedSalmon. I'm here once again with our good buddy Patrick. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Just ready for some more Downhour's power.
Downhour's power and his tower of power. Downhour is an interesting cat. He stands 6'2". He's right about eye level there with Hansen. You can see eye to eye.
He's that big?
6'2", yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it.
Well, when we get the video rolling, watch when he walks in the door. You can tell by by comparing him to the door there. Nathan has hazel eyes, despite using the screen name Green-Eyed 121.
Wishful thinking, perhaps?
Yeah, probably. Maybe he thinks hazel is beneath him, but no, that's your lot in life. So I was wondering, have you ever looked at the To Catch a Predator wiki, the fandom wiki?
I think I have before, but not much now, in fairness.
I always talk about the temple. I love the temple. It's just for every possible question, you can find an answer, it seems like there. And like I did on the live stream the other day, we had people posing questions in the temple that, hopefully people would answer. It's a good resource for that. But it's also, there's a ton of info there. The fan wiki, on the other hand, the fandom, To Catch a Predator.fandom.com, is super concise. It's like just the facts, just like a Wikipedia entry, what you might expect.
Okay, perfect.
I'm going to read just the biography, the beginning of the biography here on Nathan, just because it gives some interesting insight. Nathan Eli Downhour, his middle name is Eli. Nathan was a student at an evangelical college in Indiana at the time of his involvement on Dateline. He was 23 at the time that he began chatting with a girl he believed to be 13 named Katie. There's an Irish name for you, huh?
Yeah. Girlfriend's named Katie, so maybe Downhour was hitting her up back when she was 13.
Possibly. He may only go for the Irish gals, I don't know.
Maybe.
He had originally initiated contact with the decoy via email, which was replied to, and continued to talk to her on chat. The chat starts off as playful, talking about the things they individually plan to do on spring break and their favorite animals. We're going to get into that here in a minute. Mm-hmm. Then Nathan turns the chat sexual when he wants to make plans to come over when the girl's parents aren't home, play around, and have sex. It says here, like Paul Clemente. You remember Paul Clemente, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Please, sir.
Please.
Like Paul Clemente, he is a virgin, but the decoy says she is sexually experienced. Nevertheless, he tries to be a sexual education teacher by telling her what to anticipate when they have sex, saying things like he is going to penetrate her clitoris, not knowing it wasn't an orifice despite being a biology major. He would also give step-by-step instructions that sounded like they were out of a manual. So what do you think of that take on Nathan?
They're definitely right about the sex stuff, because he's very verbose when he's talking about sex. And then the clitoris thing reminds me of Lauren,
Oh, yeah.
With his misunderstanding of what a clit is and how many there are and
how many flaps and folds there are to get to it. Yep. That's Nathan's taking the Lauren School of Sexual Biology, I guess, human biology. It is interesting that he is a biology major and he doesn't know that little tidbit.
Maybe they just haven't got to that bit yet,
Right. Have you seen the picture? Are you able to see my screen right now?
Yes. That lovely shot of him.
Yeah, what do you think of Nathan here?
I'm loving the shirt. Is that like velvet? Or?
I'm sure it's velour, yeah. Nathan looks better groomed here.
Yeah.
Like he's got the afro picked out and a little smile on his face. He kind of looks disheveled when he shows up at the Sting House.
Came off a night of debauchery at the Evangelical College, yeah.
Yeah, they were probably watching some other out-of-season holiday movie.
Watching Jim Carrey all night long.
Yeah, Jim Carrey marathon. He is absolutely fabulous. He looks like Greg Brady here. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but...
Brady Bunch? Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking like Greg Brady here, I think. So the other thing I wanted to go over before we dive into it is the The perverted justice prologue or whatever to the actual chat.
Yeah.
If you want to get the,
like a blurb.
Yeah, just get the quick information on who this guy is. You can check this out, and then it links from there to the actual chat log. But I found the piece that they pull from the chat to showcase here is really pretty funny. Have you ever seen Napoleon Dynamite?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so this section here I just found really fascinating. So I will try to perform them to my best ability here. Before you left, I was going to ask you what types of cats and horses you like. I like them all. You? Cat-wise, I like the liger. It's a cross of a lion and a tiger. Pretty impressive. Lol. I know Napoleon. What? That's Napoleon Dynamite's favorite animal, the liger. I think I should watch that movie. What do you think of that, dude?
How, that's very coincidental. That
He's the real life Napoleon Dynamite.
That he mentioned the liger of all things. That's such a specific, that. If someone said a lion or a tiger, I'd be like, okay, yeah, whatever. But the liger is so specific.
That's just crazy, huh?
He is the liger king.
Absolutely, man. And that makes me think, we were talking about predator nicknames. Maybe he's the Napoleon Dynamite predator.
Oh, perfect. Someone used that for their video title.
I think it's a good one. Briefly here from Perverted Justice, it says, Nathan Downhour has been convicted. While some might look at him as a, quote, young person, he was well on his way to being in a position of oversight over minors now. Oh, now?
He was 23, right?
Yeah, 23 and going to an evangelical college studying biology. I think this person doesn't have the perfect grasp of English. He was well on his way to being in a position of oversight over minors. That doesn't make sense, but we kind of get the point. Now he never will be. That's a good thing. Downhour was sentenced to 35 days in jail, time served. Will have to register as a sexually oriented offender, probation for 2 years, and needs to pay the costs of prosecution, which was $1,477.34, plus $500 sexual evaluation fee. If he contacts another minor offline or online, he will spend 9 months in jail and is to have no access to nudity or porn, internet-based or not. Lastly, he had to surrender his vehicle, which was used in the commission of the crime. Any thoughts?
He got off fairly light, considering what the sentences that other people got,
Like Lauren?
Yeah.
Well, Lauren got 5 years. I don't know who's had the most time.
Maybe one of those repeat offenders like JP Dub and Bodner and Westerbeck.
Westerbeck, yeah. Oh, one other thing from this post by Perverted Justice. It says here, Nathan was attending an Eve, capital EVE, capital A, Angelical School. 2 different words. He was attending an Eve Angelical School. Almost had it. Nice try. But at least they caught Nathan, so. And one coincidence, Nathan being 23, says here he was the 23rd conviction for 2007. So 23, that number will pop up all the time in life if you pay attention. So that's that. That's our prologue, our first look into Nathan. Do you have anything to add to that?
Not particularly. Let's get into the video.
Can you tell me what your favorite cat or horse is?
The Budweiser Clydesdales.
They are magnificent.
They're huge.
They are slow as molasses, though. All right, let's get into it. Watch when Nathan comes in the door here. Not only does he have the evangelical light glowing around him, look how tall he is compared to the door.
Oh, wow, he is pretty big, actually. Yeah.
Oh.
Nathan?
Hey, Nathan?
Yeah.
I just cut the crap out of my toe.
And then, classic Dell, smashing her toes
Oh, totally.
against inanimate objects.
Especially at this particular sting house. It seems like the bottom of that the bottom of that newel post must be totally worn away from her toe stubbing it.
Just smashing it.
Yep.
I'm getting a Band-Aid. Hold up the kitchen counter for a second, okay? I'll be right back down.
I find this interesting. Chris Hansen is not hidden very well. Like Nathan only has to go another 4 feet here or something. And then boom, there's Hansen.
Oh yeah, there he is.
Favor, just go
have a seat, right? Everything else in the car, please.
And take your hands out of your pockets for me. Go ahead, have a seat. What are you doing here?
Okay, dude. I just got to comment on Nathan. He is silent so much of the time, like he's really thinks about what he's going to say, you know?
Yeah, he's shell-shocked at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, and throughout, but like your typical predator, well, like, you know, Westerbeck right now would be shoving peanuts in his mouth or whatever.
Or like the guys that just kind of blubber, you know, they're just like, I wasn't going to do anything.
Yeah. Nathan actually like takes a second to think of his response because you know he's busted. But you'll notice also that the questions that are truthful, he answers immediately. You know, but anything that he's like, you know, trying to decide how his lie is going to go, he just takes forever to respond. So Hansen says to him, you know, what are you doing here or whatever? And he just doesn't answer, and Hansen raises his hand at him like, you going to answer? Let's check that out again.
And take your hands out of your pockets for me. Go ahead, have a seat. What are you doing here?
Came to visit somebody.
Who did you come to visit?
Katie.
Katie. And why were you going to come here to visit Katie?
Because she asked me to come.
She asked you. And how did you meet Katie?
Online.
Online. How old is Katie?
I like how he tilts his head to the side and then back over again and goes, 13?
Yep.
He thought about it. He thought he was going to go with 18, but he's like, nah.
Which is standard. You know, well, I thought she was 18, or, well, Nathan just gave him what he thought was the actual age. This is just another example, or another shining example of how Hansen's technique was ask the question and then repeat their answer. He just does that, you know, almost every sting, but this one seems particularly egregious. Everything that's said, he just repeats it right back.
How old is Katie?
13.
13. And how old are you?
23.
23. Do you see a problem with that? That's yes.
Did Nathan even move? I think he just barely nods his head, doesn't he?
Yeah, he did a little head movement and went, yes.
Yeah, and again, takes forever to think about it and then nods his head.
And what is the problem that you see?
She's 13.
What made you think that it was okay to come over to this home where you thought a 13-year-old girl was alone?
Jesus.
He's just loading.
It's like having a staring contest with Hansen or something.
His blink first.
Why do you think that was okay?
Yeah, exactly. Or he's like thinking, trying to use his mind to make Chris's head explode or something.
If I stare at him hard enough, he'll just give up.
To be honest, I didn't know if anything would really happen.
You didn't know if anything would really happen.
I don't know if I'd really be able to go through with it.
But you walked in the door. What brought you here?
He's just completely still.
I'm sure Hansen was pissed too because
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, Hansen likes the animated guys, and Nathan's just like,
This is like death for TV.
yeah. Nathan's catatonic, but he does answer finally, and Hansen says, "What brought you here?" And his answer is conflict.
Conflict.
Like, who answers that way? Dude?
Is he going to fight Katie or?
Yeah, right. It's just conflict. You see, he's like too deep of a thinker or something. It's like, dude, we know what you're here for. You didn't come here for a conflict. Let's see how he explains that away.
What brought you here?
Conflict.
Conflict over what? I mean, I'm just trying to understand it, so help me out.
Am I really the person?
I want to point out here too. Do you hear the chirping?
Yes.
I don't know where the heck their microphone is, but you hear that bird chirping, and in a minute, it's going to do something reminiscent of something else, and I'll explain.
We even hit a mic in a tree.
They even have a mic under a leaf outside.
Conflict.
Conflict over what? I mean, I'm just trying to understand it, so help me out.
Am I really the person that I think I am?
I love
Am I
this
the
guy.
guy who would...
Oh, I'm sorry, I did interrupt it. Am I really the person that I think I
Yeah,
am?
I was going to make a point about this. This is like, you know, the
Yeah.
temptation of Christ, you know? The temptation of Nathan, like, will he succumb to temptation, or will he go home and take comfort in Jim Carrey?
Oh, I suspect he will succumb, but we'll find out.
Am I really the person that I think I am? Am I the guy who would take advantage of an underage girl in her home without her parents?
And he just takes the same thing you
Or
just
am I
said,
the person
but
who
adds,
would do the right
or am
thing
I not the kind of
and
person?
not take advantage of a girl who's 13?
And you came here to decide in your own mind which guy you really were. The guy who would take advantage of a 13-year-old girl, or the guy who would, what, hang out, have popcorn, watch a movie, and then go home?
This is Nathan's test.
What's that?
This is Nathan's test. He's testing himself.
And it's funny. So you came here to find out if you were this guy or that guy.
And
You shouldn't have to go there to figure that out, Nathan. That's the point.
The guy who would take advantage of a 13-year-old girl, or the guy who would, what, hang out, have popcorn, watch a movie, and then go home? You see how this looks. You're how old?
23.
23. And what do you do?
I'm a student.
You're a student. And what are you studying?
Biology.
He just
Biology.
repeats everything. Dude. I love it.
Do you do this often? Do you get on the internet and meet underage girls?
No?
Why did you decide to do it on this occasion?
Hello.
play that, do, 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 do.
I mean, did you just wake up one morning and say, you know what, I'm going to go chat up someone I think is 13 years old, and then come have a visit?
Say it.
No, it just kind of happened.
It just kind of happened.
It kind of happened.
I sent an email asking to chat. She gave me her email, her instant message address. We talked.
And how did you find this girl, Katie?
Okay, did you hear the bird?
Yeah. I heard it chirping away.
Okay. Let me hear it again.
Instant message address. We talked.
The bird's feeding answers to Nathan.
I'll tell you what it reminded me of. I'll show you. This is what I was cracking up about earlier. Three Stooges. Familiar?
Yeah.
Okay. Shemp sleeping. Check this out. That's what that bird reminds me of. Oh man.
And how did you find this girl, Katie?
MySpace.
MySpace. And what is it about MySpace that
The
is
siren's call of MySpace.
Yep.
You can meet people.
young people?
People.
Presumably at college there are girls your own age.
True.
Why go after a 13-year-old? That's 7th grade, by the way.
That's a great tactic that Hansen uses all the time.
Yeah, that's pretty eye-opening when you put it that
Yeah.
way. You know, it's like it's easy for him to probably just age is just a number, but
I mean, hell,
yeah,
what?
to point out that's 7th grade, by the way.
She seemed interested.
Interesting.
She seemed
But you
interested.
see what's wrong with doing this, even if someone seems interested or nice, when they're 13 years old. Right?
Right.
What's wrong with this?
She's 13.
Okay, then why did you do it?
going to get philosophical on us in a minute.
I mean, there seems little doubt as to what you wanted to do here, based upon the chat. You could stay up late, sleep in your dad's bed, try on his girlfriend's clothes, underwear included, or run around the house nude.
Speaking of which, the quote that Hansen pulls out,
Yeah.
it so pales in comparison to some of the other guys that, they all go into the anal, side of things.
Yeah,
and
the real nitty-gritty.
Right, and Nathan's, racist comment is, you can try on your dad's girlfriend's clothes. Go around the house naked if you want.
And here comes the hand on the face now as well. His signature kind of stance in the video.
It's
That
like
made it to TV.
he wants to be sure he sits perfectly stone still, so he's just got to prop his head up on his hand.
Instant messaging allows for a way to talk differently.
Talk differently.
You're not actually facing the person, so you don't have to deal with the embarrassment of saying those sort of things to their face.
I just want to bring up Jeff Stacy at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You remember what Jeff said about internet chat. The internet and real life are two different things.
It's just talk.
It's just talk. It meshes perfectly with Nathan's philosophy.
And this is the same sting, right?
Yes, same house.
And as Westerbeck would say, it's just BS talk.
BS talk. BS being baked salmon, by the way.
So it doesn't bother you I am 13. No, it's cool. So at 2 I leave, and then we can spend the whole afternoon and evening having fun. What else do you want to do when you come? Be creative, do whatever you want, and go as far as you want. What do you mean? Like sex.
Be creative. Fucking arts and crafts over here.
Those are your words, right?
That's what she said. It's two-part.
2 parts, absolutely. If you want to, but that's your decision. Now you have my heart pumping and my blood racing.
Ooh.
He's such he's like an erotic novelist or something,
Oh, totally. Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I was thinking, a romance novel. You've got my heart racing, my blood surging, coursing through my veins.
I just remembered, please don't tell anyone that we might have sex, or if we do have sex, we would both be in a lot of trouble.
Self-aware.
Okay, yeah, he knows what he's at.
Yep.
What does that indicate?
I know it's wrong.
It's wrong!
But I want to tell you that I think it would be worth the risk. Let me ask you, Nathan, was it worth the risk?
Why does he have to think about that?
I know. No.
Have you ever done this before?
No.
Nope. See how quickly he answers?
Never.
That was so casual too.
Why now?
Didn't even answer that question.
You get into very graphic detail about what you want to do to her.
What's graphic in Nathan's world?
Fantasies dreamed up online or in your mind. Things you might not be able to willingly do when it comes down to it.
There's the line.
Dude is deep.
That's why he was silent all those times. He was concocting that.
Yeah, exactly. How he was fashioning what his ultimate missive would be during this
The
whole
smoking gun.
thing. Yep.
Fantasies dreamed up online or in your mind. Things you might not be able to willingly do when it comes down to it.
Fantasies dreamed up online or are in your mind, right? Fantasies dreamed up online are in your mind. Things that you might not say. Wait, I have this somewhere. Let's see.
Things that you might not do when it comes down to it.
Things you might not be willing to do when it comes down to it. Yeah.
Ah.
That is deep. Is there a deeper line from any predator?
He missed his calling.
Yeah, exactly.
His parents must have pushed him into biology.
Yeah, but this leaves little doubt. Well, after I remove your shirt and bra, I will run my hands along your body's smooth skin. I will gently cup and massage your soft breasts, kiss them, and run my tongue along them. And it goes on from there. In graphic detail.
There it is. Why does Hansen have to feel the need to punctuate it by saying that again? In graphic detail.
I mean, yeah, we just heard it. We just heard the graphic details.
What are we to make of this? Will you tell me?
Got nothing.
What should happen to you?
Nathan, wake up.
Earth to Nathan.
I'm not sure. I don't know what the law says about this,
Well, it's illegal.
but nothing has happened yet.
The old, you can converse, you can talk, but if you don't actually catch me doing it...
That's right. Funny thing about Nathan here, actually, my favorite line from Nathan is not the deep philosophical one, but the one that's coming up right here.
Well, I know. But it's illegal for someone to use the internet to solicit somebody who's 13 for sex.
That I was unaware of.
That's the line.
No,
That's a t-shirt.
that's what I was unaware of.
Yeah.
You are unaware of. Why would you think it would be lawful to do something like that?
He's perplexed.
He
It
is.
didn't catch my mind.
It didn't catch your mind that it would be wrong for you.
Okay, have you ever used that phrase? It didn't catch
It
my
didn't
mind?
catch my mind? No.
What the hell is he thinking, man? In front of Chris, he gets pretty flustered, I think.
He's got all his idioms wrong.
Yep.
As a grown man to come into this home where you thought a 13-year-old girl was home alone after this sexually explicit conversation.
In graphic detail.
Didn't cross your mind that maybe that was wrong. I mean, help me out here. You're not giving me a lot of information.
Chris is thinking, help me out here. We're going for ratings here, buddy. This is a TV show.
Please, anything to fill the 2 minutes we need.
The fantasies dreamed up in your mind, that was gold, man. Give me some more of that.
If you had a 13-year-old kid sister, how would you feel about a grown man coming into the home
Painful.
where she was alone?
This is a great counter.
Yeah.
In a second.
Someone I didn't know.
Yes, somebody who came over after this kind of an online chat.
He's thinking about it way too much. Nathan.
God.
I'd probably beat him up.
You'd beat him up.
It beat him up.
Yeah. I get the sense Nathan's probably never beat anybody up in his life. What do you think?
No, yeah, I don't think so.
Or
even
he's-
the term "beat him up" is
Yeah,
a
like it
bit
would
childish.
be. I'd probably kick his ass or something like that, right?
Yeah,
I'd drop him. Nathan may also be though the kind of guy that it builds up for years, and when he finally blows his top, it's just impressive. Like,
he just like destroys a guy.
yep, the damage he does. But I could see Nathan being like that, where he just takes it and takes it and takes it for so many years, and then finally just loses it, just goes ballistic.
Then why is it okay for you, as a grown man, to come into this home after this conversation where you thought a 13-year-old girl was alone?
It's not.
So why'd you do it?
Wake up, kid.
Because I didn't know what was going to happen.
You didn't know what was going to happen.
I didn't know if I was going to go through with it, if I
I like to imagine like whenever he does those big pauses, it's like the YouTube buffering thing, or the
Dude, if I...
or the egg timer from Windows.
Yeah, totally. Or the sound of the Windows 97 shutting down or whatever.
Yeah, doo-doo-doo.
find out that I just couldn't do that in real life. You can fantasize about all sorts of things you want to do. But you never really do them. You never have the courage to do them. Or
Do you-
you never have the will to do them.
That's like his reworded version of the fantasies dreamed up in your mind speech.
Yeah, totally. It's pretty much
You just
was, huh?
recycled it.
Reworked
Yeah.
it. Yep.
Do you have an addiction or a compulsion when it comes to the internet, these kind of conversations?
I find it interesting, Chris Hansen, and maybe that was the buzz in those days or whatever. But he always asks them, "Do you have an addiction to the internet?" Like, it seems like an odd question.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe there were stories that were going around at the time about internet addiction.
right. Like that was
Whatever.
probably utilized by somebody as a reasonable explanation. Oh, sorry about that. I was addicted to the internet. Oh, okay. Well,
Because that was kind of when the internet was just about to explode.
yeah.
Because once the first iPhone came out, it really exploded.
Yeah, exactly. Once you could take it on the road with you, huh?
No.
So it just started this week. Well, Nathan, there's something I got to tell you. I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story about adults who try to meet underage boys and girls for sex on the internet. If you have anything else
Doesn't flinch.
that you'd like to tell me,
He's not phased by these cameras.
I'd be happy to hear it. If not, you're obviously free to walk out that door.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else you'd like to say?
No.
The most polite predator, maybe?
Yeah. Mr. Manners.
He strolls out.
Duck your head on your way
No.
out.
No fuss.
Looks like God's waiting for him outside.
Let's go back to the evangelical college.
Yeah. So, have you ever seen Mike V do Nathan Downhour?
Yes, I have.
But check this out real quick.
I'm sure you all heard the sad news of the passing of Stanley Kendall. I did have the pleasure of talking with him on the phone, probably a month prior to what happened a few days ago. I'd like to commemorate him
He's got the voice down pretty
in
good.
this video
It's
and
perfect.
dedicate a song to him. That was the original plan. It's a song by a group called Granddaddy. I thought that would be an appropriate title. It's called 180 AM, and I'm going to sing it for you and for him. Da 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 da. Don't change your name, keep it the same for fear I may lose you
I
again.
think that's how Nathan would sing. Right, real quick, man. Can we just watch this toupee real quick? It's only a minute.
Yeah.
This is so fucking brilliant, man.
Hey boo, hey baby. This is Johnny CT, and I'm ready for football this week. I brought presents.
Toupee
I'm not a freeloader. So I brought
crashing
presents.
Downhour's analysis video.
Just like he crashed that mansion, remember?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I got presents. Am I nervous? Yeah, I'm nervous because you know who's playing this week is the Steelers and the Ravens.
He's got his hair moosed up in the
And
front.
Last week,
Yeah.
the Steelers they lost to the Bears and Wolf's Fur in overtime, and
Bears
and-
and Wolf's Fur.
And then the Ravens got completely thrown away by the Jaguars in England. So I'm not really rooting for a team, but if I do, and every time there's a touchdown, I'm just gonna go like this.
Just a hello hug.
Q Hansen walking out.
Yep. That's good. I think I'll leave that in because it's just funny. And we'll tribute Mike V because that's just too friggin' funny. All right, man. Well, final thoughts on Nathan. We know that he went on to be a recycling sorter. To do.
Oh, that's what he ended up doing.
Have you seen that?
No.
He works in a recycling place and he pulls the garbage
Okay.
out of the recycling, basically.
At least he's giving back to the environment.
Yeah, that's right. But it's a probably not where he imagined he would end up, being a biology major and Now he's throwing
Yeah, I
his
doubt he
trash.
ever. I wonder if he ever finished. I doubt it.
Yeah, probably not, huh?
Yeah, if he's working in a recycling plant, I doubt he finished his
Right.
reality measure.
And just for the fact that it was a evangelical college, they probably said, we'll be fine if you don't stay here after what's occurred. And that's it.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Well, thank you for doing this with me, Patrick. This, again,
problem.
was at the request of our good friend, Roy Miro-san, as he's known these days. He's a good man and someone who I would legitimately say is a friend beyond my normal internet acquaintances, let's say. But yeah,
I'd agree.
love me some Ramiro-san. So from all of us here at Bakeline, Patrick, good night.
Good night.
Wow, thank you so much for the suggestion, Ramiro-san, that Patrick and I do another analysis together. This video was not sponsored by Guinness Beer. Guinness, we don't sign contracts with fish. Patrick, I appreciate your patience, and I want to thank Will Dirk, who appeared without his knowledge.
I don't know you from Adam.
And now, mega huge thanks to my patrons shown here.
Dummy Dummy, Kelp Pill, TechRec 71, Cat G, Michael's TCAP channel, M1A, Ramiro-san, Recipes of Redemption, Graham Graham, Aerodo, Dr. K, Nathan Ramon, Tiffany Lockhart, Joey's TCAP channel, The Lorne Identity, Rhoda's Chewed Tootsie, Uriel Gray, I'm Just Being Honest, Saul, Patrick TCAP Ireland, Mr. E, Julie, Cali Lady, Moody Booty, C&J Dev, After Supper Biscuit, Lizard American, Lyle Landley 99, Aaron, Dick Hungwell, Noel, That's Thing One, and the articulate shadow puppet, Gooey.
And thanks to all of you who watch, comment, and subscribe. I have a special request. You hear it all the time from everyone. Could you please, if you like the video and you like my content, hit the like button. What that does is give me a better chance of being suggested to other viewers. The bigger we can grow this channel, the more time I can devote to making content. This is a tangible way to help me with that goal. That's it for now. Dustin Court transcript finale is waiting in the wings, and too much stuff to bring up here. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Your alligator mouth has overloaded your hummingbird ass.